Happy New Year. Can I get a whoop whoop? Can I get a whoop whoop? Goodbye 2020. Okay, I hope everyone enjoyed their New Year's Eve. I myself went to bed early while my kids celebrated. I could not stay up. So I hope everyone enjoyed their welcoming in 2021 and goodbye 2020. Wishing you guys all health and happiness for this new year. Okay, today I wanted to go and try out the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Soft Matte Powder Foundation. So this was recently released and I wanted to try this. I got mine in the shade 230. That's the same shade I use in their Pro Filter Soft Matte Longwear Foundation. So I thought I would go ahead and try the same color because it's an okay color for me. So let me go ahead and open this up. Well, let me tell you what it says. It's a light as air powder foundation that gives you light to full coverage with soft matte finish. Now that's important because, you know, I don't know if I should be putting on concealer beforehand, but for today I'm not going to do that. So it's a medium coverage matte finish pressed powder, free of parabens, phthalates, and vegan, gluten-free, and it's cruelty-free. This powder delivers a non-cakey blurred finish with no flashback. The buildable light to full coverage formula loves to be layered without settling into fine lines or clogging the looks of pores. And I have a big, I guess this isn't a fine line, it's a big line. So I'm wondering if it's gonna settle into there too. It's also sweat, humidity, and crease resistance. Plus it has a chic portable compact. So let's go ahead and open this up. This is what the compact looks like. It's about the size of my palm. And on the back it says the Pro Filter Matte Powder Foundation as well as the color. When you open it up and it's got the Fenty Beauty logo right there with a mirror. And then you lift this up and you get the sponge that it comes with. So when I read the directions on how to use this, it said prep. Before applying, be sure to moisturize skin with the Fenty Skin Hydra Visor Invisible Moisturizer Broad Spectrum SPF 30 sunscreen. So I do have my AM skincare on, I do have my sunscreen on, and I've let it set. After moisturizing, apply your favorite primer and let set for best results. Use the included sponge to build your desired coverage for a flawless blurred finish. Fenty Beauty by Rihanna recommends the Powder Puff Setting Brush 170, which I don't have, for light coverage. For medium to full coverage, apply using a kabuki brush. So I have my Hourglass kabuki brush here. Pro tip, the looser the brush, the lighter the coverage. And Rihanna's way, apply on top of your Pro Filter Liquid Foundation for added coverage on the go. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and put the primer. I have the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Mattifying Primer right here. And I'm gonna put this on half my face. So let's see, I'm gonna take about a pump and I'm gonna put it on this side of my face. I wanna see if this ends up helping it hold longer or just see if it makes a difference. So I'm gonna put it on my right side. I wonder if it's really gonna make a difference in whether it wears longer or not. Okay, so this is the color that I got. I am going to use the kabuki brush on one side and then we'll use the sponge on the other. So with the sponge, I'm gonna do it on my left side of my face. So I'm taking this. Let's see if this color's gonna work. Okay, let's do this. It is decreasing the look of my hyperpigmentation. And you know, most of the Korean brands that I use cushion or powder foundation, or even the Giorgio Armani one, it's the Balm, they recommend, the people at the beauty counter recommend using the sponge over using a brush because they said that's how they make these powder compacts, is for use with the sponge, which seems odd as a makeup reviewer. We like to use brushes and stuff and not use the sponge, but I'm gonna go ahead and try it. So let me bring you in. This is what one layer looks like. And it does feel really powdery. So this is the side with the powder foundation and this is the side without. So you can see it did decrease the side of my hyperpigmentation, but it did not cover it. So I wonder if I should have put concealer on before. Okay, so that was one layer. Let's try a second and see if that makes a difference. Because now it's too late to, oh, there, it does cover more. Well, that's not bad. Let's try this under my eye. I'm gonna bend the sponge a little bit to get it under my eye like this. See if it covers my dark circles. Oh yeah, that does a pretty good job. Okay. That looks better, right? And I do love the powder finish for me. I might have to spray. Okay, using the Hourglass Kabuki brush, I'm gonna go into the right side. So let's go ahead and try this here. I'm just doing it in short strokes, kind of like pouncing it on my skin. Okay, so that's with one light layer. You can see that this has more coverage, but I did put 2 layers there. So let's go ahead and try this again with another layer. Okay, so that's with 2 layers. So I feel like I get better coverage with the sponge, but I like putting it on better with the brush just because it's easier. So this, I would say this is a good medium coverage. I wonder if I can build it up to full. I'm gonna try one more layer. I don't want it to look too cakey, but I'm gonna try one more layer there for the sake, and look, the FB in the middle is almost gone. Okay, let's try one more layer. Yeah, I guess you can build it up to full. See, that does a better job of covering my hyperpigmentation. Okay, I'm not gonna put any concealer or anything else on. I'm gonna do a wear test. So it's 11 o'clock. I will check back in a few hours to see how this wears. Okay, take a good look, last look. Let me bring you in closer. This is the side with the primer, and this is the side without. Okay, I'm gonna go put on the rest of my face and I'll see you in a few hours. It's 1:58, so it's been 3 hours since I put on this FENTY powder foundation. Let's take a close look at my skin. This is the side where I have the primer on, and this is the side without the primer. And when I looked in the mirror just now, it looks the same to me. I don't notice a difference. I do notice it's breaking up right here around my nose, but it hasn't settled into my laugh lines or anything like that. So it's been wearing pretty good. My natural oils have come through, but I'm not like a greasy, shiny mess yet. Okay, so I'll check back in a few hours and let's see how this continues to wear. Okay, it is 5:24, so it's been another 3.5 hours, so 6.5 hours. Let's come in and take a closer look. Now, reminder that this side is the side with the primer. Let's look at my forehead. My forehead is looking pretty good. Even my, I don't want to say fine line because that's a huge ass line. It hasn't sunk into my deep lines there. It's kind of come off around my or this eye. This eye's been watering, so that's my issue, not the foundation issue. I think it's looking pretty good. Yes, I do look oily, but I always look oily. It's wiped off a little bit right here, but I've kind of been rubbing my chin or holding my hand like this. So I'm gonna go ahead and take a blotting paper and let's blot this and see how this looks. Just so you know, I don't see a difference between the primer side and the non-primer side. Actually, this side might be a little bit less oily. But let's go ahead and use blotting paper and blot all my oils off. So oily. And then what I wanted to do was take this Fenty powder and reapply it just using a soft brush. I'm gonna use this Chikuhodo brush. I think that's what it is. This was from a couple of years ago, the Beautylish. And I'm gonna take that into this powder and let's go ahead and put a little bit on, because they said you could use this in between to touch up. And I think it touches up beautifully. Look at that. You can still see some of the highlight. My blush and bronzer is less, but it's still there. Right here you can see that it's showing some hyperpigmentation, so I'm gonna go into my kabuki brush and just brush that on and see if that makes a difference. Yeah, it's hiding it. I think it looks pretty good. What do you guys think? I think it looks good. Okay, so this is a win for me. Initially, when I first put it on, it did look powdery, but I didn't put any setting spray on. But within an hour, it looked really good. I didn't check it during the hour, but within an hour, because some of my natural oils came through and it looked more like skin. And even when I put this on as a touch-up, I think it looks good. So I'm impressed with this. So this works for me and my oily skin, and I'm glad it didn't get into my my lines and wrinkles here, and it didn't settle into my laugh lines. It did lift a little bit around my nose, but that always happens to me. So this is a win for me. All right, let me know your thoughts down below. Did you try it? Are you going to try it? Thank you so much for joining me. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell, share with a friend, and I'll see you next time.